Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's another day. As you know from before, the axle is in. So this time we're just going to be working on putting the locker in. What I've already done here, label your axle shaft. Anytime you're going to pull a shaft out, you always want to label it, which side it's on. Whether it's the same length or not, it's always best to put it back the way it was. So I've already got the tools laid out underneath, and we're just going to pull the shafts out. We're going to take them out. We're going to press the longer studs in. And then when that's done, we're going to go ahead and get this locker installed, get it all bolted up, and should be ready to rip. So sit back, enjoy, and let's get this started. All right, so this is the locker I'm going with. It's the Torq locker for the Chrysler 8 1/4. It's the 29 spline. You can see here, pretty well built. The only thing you gotta do is put the springs in. Some of them they have like a dowel rod that goes with them, but I went with this because they put these on here, which I guess is the replacement for the dowel rods, which makes it a lot stronger. So I can't wait to get this thing in, get her out on a trail, see how she does. But first, like I said, we got to put the new axle studs in for the lug nuts and get that taken care of. If you're wondering why there's not a whole lot of fluid in here, I've already had this thing open and been working on it. So that's why there's not a whole lot going on in here. All we're doing right now is taking the pin out so we can pull the C-clips out to get the shafts out. The reason I'm putting the pin back in is because for right now I don't want the spider gears to fall out, so this will kind of help lock everything in place. Alright, we'll slide the shafts out. Alright, so you can see the studs are out. Came out pretty easy. I got my new studs ready to go. And I'll show you, here's the difference between the two. So this is the original one. This is the one I'm going with. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I'm running the wheel spacers / adapters. So I need the longer thread because that spacer being on there. When you put the lug nut on, it really only grabs a little bit of this one. So by putting the longer one on, it'll grab more of it to guarantee that it's not going to come loose or fall off. So now that we got them out, let's get the new ones pressed in and we'll get home and get the locker put on. So besides from taking the Jeep out on adventures, once that project's done, this is going to be another project I'm going to get going. I've had this thing since I was in high school. Last time I drove it was November of 2000. So that lets you know how long this thing's been sitting. But yeah, this will be the next project. You can see it's going to need quite a bit of work. There's really nothing left of it. So gonna have to finish this thing up, get it back on the road. But yeah, the weather's turning nice, and I can't wait to get started back on this thing, get this thing up and running, and take some cruises around the neighborhood. But yeah, stay tuned. That'll be future episodes. Like I said, the weather's getting nice outside, and I want to get back on this. So this will be more videos coming soon, probably later on. So stick around for those. All right, now you got to keep these side specific. So I got driver side, passenger side. These are my pieces here. So they got the shims on them. So I'm gonna go straight up and on. Making sure I got all the shims. Put a little bit of that on there. I know you should probably use something. A little bit better of an angle for you guys. All right, so the locker is in. Surprisingly, that was really easy to do. The hardest part was getting the C-clip on this side. I was having trouble where the center pin here wasn't sliding all the way through, and it was bottoming out on the axle shaft right in there because the C-clip hadn't fallen in all the way. So got that taken care of, got that in. Both the springs are in. According to the instructions that it came with, they want you to do the center gap spacing. Needs to measure between 0.145 and 0.175. So I set my feeler gauges up at 0.160, which is right in the middle of the two, and it fits just perfect. So this thing is within their tolerance. I'm very happy with it. Now I'm going to be putting the 85W 140 in. The instructions say you can use the recommended oil that comes from the manufacturer, or you can use this because it'll help quiet it down. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, also because they had a sale on it. So I'm going to get all this cleaned up here. We'll put the new diff cover on, get that all taken care of, and I guess next thing would be bleed the brakes and put it all back together. Well, here we go. She's all done. What's going on, everybody? That's going to do it for this video. Just want to say the Jeep is back together. I took it around the block for a little bit. Everything seems to be working really well. The question is, would I buy this locker again? Yes, I would. I'm actually considering buying another one and putting it in the front axle to make this thing a twin lock. But that'll be maybe a future project, or we'll see. I'm going to kind of play it by ear for now. But yes, this locker was incredibly easy to put in. I'm very happy with it. I can't wait to get it out on the trails and see how it handles. Before that though, I got a few more things to button up on it. I want to check the brakes again, readjust them as needed. And I also want to take it and have an alignment done on it because the axle was out. I know it's probably okay, but I just want to make sure it's in there straight and true. Get the pinion angle set correctly. I don't want to be eating up tires if I don't have to. But a few things that I did notice with this whole setup, when I bought the SYE kit, it did not come with the bolts that hold the drive shaft to the yoke on the transfer case. So I did have to track down a set for those. That's something you guys will want to check out, and be careful if you get the kit. Just make sure you got some bolts for it. They are not the same bolts that go on the axle. The easiest thing to do is, if you can, take the 4 bolts out of the front drive shaft that connects to the transfer case. You can find them at a junkyard or something like that, or go online and do a Google search. What I do like about the locker is how quiet it is. My old Jeep that I had that was set up for more rock trails and all that, I had a Detroit locker in it. That thing was very noisy when it came in and out of engagement. Sometimes it would be so bad that you thought you snapped an axle shaft, but once that thing was locked in, you knew it wasn't coming apart. This one here, going around in turns, you can hear the slightest clicking sound, which is absolutely normal, but it is way quieter than anything I've ever seen as far as the locker goes. So future projects, as you saw earlier in the video, my Mustang. Look, Ford, Chevy, doesn't matter. As long as you got a project, get out there and work on it. This happens to be my Mustang that I had from back in high school. And like I said, the weather is getting nice, so I can start working on it again. And I hope you guys will follow along, maybe get some new subscribers in, and bring the two worlds together of off-road and on-road. It's just a passion of mine to work on cars and have a good time, so I hope it is for you as well. Like I said, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, it doesn't matter. I've had them all. They're all fun. Cars are cars. And really, we're all in this to kind of just work on our own projects and have a good time. All right, so what's next for the Jeep? We did have a camp trip set up for this weekend to do a little work at some property, but due to some private reasons, we postponed it. We will get the Jeep out there at some point and do a little playing out there and test out the new locker and some of the new camp gear I got. But until then, I've got some smaller projects I can work on with it, and hopefully it'll help you guys out if you're working on your Jeeps at home. Make sure you drop a comment in there. Maybe you got a project you're working on, you got some questions on. But that's going to do it. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Drop a comment. I do read them all, and I try to get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, that's going to do it. So we'll see you guys in the next video.